Welcome back to the Blueprints for Better Benefits series. I'm your host, Rodney Matos Jr., and today's episode is one of my favorites because nothing cuts through the noise like real stories, real results, and real employers who took control over their healthcare destiny. We've laid the foundation throughout this series. Now we show you what it looks like in the real world. You'll hear how a Nevada mining company saved over $1.5 million using Triforta's cost containment playbooks and Apeironix predictive analytics. And you'll also hear how a North Carolina client facing over 140% MLR secured nearly 19% savings in their first year through a member-owned captive. And you'll lastly hear how a mid-sized employer crushed by $2 million a year in hemophilia claims saved by $2.6 million in a single year through patient assistance, direct contracting, and captive integration. These are not theories. These are real outcomes. And guiding us today is Triforta's founder and CEO, Rodney Matos Sr. These are our case studies from our clients. Let's dive in.
All right, everyone. Let's dive into some real-world examples that bring everything we've discussed so far to life. A case study from Nevada's mining industry. We worked with a Nevada mining company facing a familiar challenge, skyrocketing healthcare costs that threatened to erode not just their benefits budget, but their ability to attract and retain talent in an industry where skilled workers are not only essential, but a depleting resource. Like many employers in this space, they were stuck in a cycle of annual rate increases with little transparency or control on how those costs were calculated. Every year felt like rolling the dice, hoping that claims wouldn't derail their budget. That's where Triforta stepped in with our proprietary cost containment strategies powered by our predictive analytics platform, Apeironix, and bolstered by proactive risk management solutions that go beyond what traditional advisors offer. In the next slide, we'll show exactly how these strategies translated into real-world savings for this mining client, over $1.5 million saved in just 5 years, all while maintaining robust benefits that kept their workforce healthy and engaged. This is not just theory. This is the power of Triforta's solutions in action. So here's a look at one of our mining clients that was struggling with escalating healthcare expenses. So for years, they faced rising costs that threatened their ability to maintain affordable, high-quality benefits for their employees. That's when Triforta stepped in. So we implemented a powerful combination of proprietary solutions leveraging cost containment strategies, predictable analytics powered by Apeironix, and proactive risk management to help them take control of their healthcare spend. In their first year, they achieved nearly 10% savings, cutting costs from $1.5 million to $1.35 million. Over the following years, those savings compounded, climbing to 13.8%, 15.9%, then 17.8%, and eventually reaching 21.9% savings by year 5. In total, this Nevada mining company reduced their healthcare spend by over $1.5 million, all without sacrificing the quality of their employee benefits. This wasn't just a cost reduction, it was a strategy that improved employee well-being, stabilized benefits, and ensured predictable costs for future growth. Imagine what $1.5 million in savings could do for your company. That's the power of Triforta's intelligent solutions and captive model. What's most remarkable is that these savings came from Triforta's integrated solutions. Predictive analytics through Apeironix helping them forecast trends and plan effectively, and cost containment strategies that reduce waste and unnecessary spend. Proactive risk management that allowed them to avoid catastrophic claim surprises. And let's not forget, these savings didn't come at the expense of their employees. There was no messing with deductibles or increasing copays or coinsurances or out-of-pocket maximums. There was no benedectomy required. They maintained the same high-quality benefits, ensuring they continued to attract and retain the skilled workforce critical to mining operations. This is proof that Triforta's approach works. In a tough, high-stakes industry like mining, where every dollar counts, we delivered $1.5 million in savings, money that went straight back into their business. Imagine what your organization could do with that kind of savings. Let's bring this full circle. Over the past several years, our client in North Carolina has navigated an incredibly challenging claims environment with persistent high-cost claimants and a medical loss ratio that consistently exceeded 140%. It's a situation that would test even the most stable employer-sponsored plan, and it certainly tested our client. If we look back, 2 of the renewals, we actually were able to negotiate below 10%, but it took a monumental effort. We had to make significant plan changes, cut back on prescription benefits, and serious advocacy and tough decisions. Meanwhile, big carriers started stepping back when we were going out to market because the group's profile simply exceeded their underwriting tolerance. And their pharmacy spend alone was 46% above industry benchmarks, driven by high-cost specialty drugs and chronic conditions that national carriers just couldn't price competitively. And we faced with this pressure and no end in sight, Triforta recommended transitioning into our member-owned group captive. It was the right strategy then, and it's proving itself now. Here's the exciting part. Our client made the leap, and in their first year, they're already seeing savings of nearly 19% to compare to what they would have paid in the fully insured market. That's a real tangible result, not just a projection. And it gets better. Based on conservative actuarial projections over the next 9 years, we're looking at a continued savings, significant ones, despite the group's challenging claims history. And that's not just numbers on a spreadsheet. That's real dollars back in our clients' hands to reinvest in their people and their business. So what does this all mean for our client and for every employer group in a similar position? It means data transparency is no longer optional. It's absolutely essential. If you can't answer basic questions about where your healthcare dollars are going, who's using care, what's driving costs, and how to intervene early, then you're stuck playing defense while your second or third largest expense spirals out of control. And let's be real, Washington isn't coming to save us. It's up to us, Triforta and employers like our client, to take control of the healthcare dollars and build a sustainable path forward. This is exactly what we mean by Blueprint for Better Benefits. This is about transforming your benefits plan from a line item cost into a strategic investment. Together, let's build a benefit strategy that works as hard as you do. Because this isn't just about benefits, it's about taking care of your people and your bottom line.
This segment is brought to you by the people and platforms that make this show possible. First, Triforta. If you're an employer who's tired of runaway renewals, bloated, fully insured plans, and the feeling that your benefit strategy is working against you instead of for you, then hear us clearly. You do not have to play that game anymore. Help business owners fix broken health insurance. We bring cost containment strategies, self-funded captives, data intelligence, and real-world case studies that routinely save employers 6 and 7 figures without cutting benefits. If you want a benefits plan that actually rewards results, visit Triforta.com and download our blueprints for better benefits. And second, Apeironix. If you run an insurance agency and you're still drowning in manual quoting, data entry, or commission reconciliation, you're leaving more than time on the table. You're leaving money. Apeironix is the automation layer built by insurance people for insurance people. AI quoting for carriers that don't have APIs. Instant policy data extraction, commission statement automation, proposal generation in seconds, not hours. Apeironix reduces operating costs and gives teams their time back so they can work at the top of their license. Learn more at Apeironix.com. That's Apeironix.com. Triforta and Apeironix, 2 companies, 1 united mission. Fix what's broken, elevate what's possible, and help real people thrive. Now let's get back to the show.
So next, I want to talk about one of the most important levers we pulled to help our North Carolina client achieve nearly 19% savings in their first year with the member-owned captive, and that's prescription drug cost containment. This case study highlights just how powerful a transparent, data-driven approach can be, especially when it comes to your prescription spend. In fact, nearly half of our clients' first-year savings came from lowering the cost of prescription drugs alone. So here's what happened. The challenge, like so many employers our client faced, are relentless rise in prescription costs, with high-dollar specialty medications and brand-name drugs eating up an outsized share of their healthcare budget. The solution, Triforta's PBM platform, stepped in to implement a dynamic drug pathway engine, leveraging every available tool to drive lower net costs without sacrificing care or accessibility. So we worked with our client to leverage autoimmune biosimilars for medications like Humira and Taltz, achieving more than $114,000 in savings right off the bat. We utilized Mark Cuban's cost plus drugs to tap into fair pricing and transparent sourcing, saving another $60,000 plus. And we introduced third-party sourcing strategies and negotiate better rates for specialty and traditional drugs, and also implemented targeted diabetes solutions, bringing down costs additionally without compromising any outcomes. The result, a total first-year prescription savings of over $243,000, money that would have otherwise been lost to high-cost drugs and traditional PBM markups. Why does this matter? Because the prescription spend has become one of the single largest drivers of healthcare cost inflation for employers, and our client, it was no different. And here's a key takeaway. Data transparency and 100% pass-through savings are the only way to win. There's no games, no hidden fees, just real savings delivered through intelligent allocation across programs, like biosimilars, Mark Cuban's model, and international sourcing. So this is the Triforta way. It's how we tackle one of the biggest cost drivers in employer healthcare, one that brokers and traditional carriers simply can't or won't touch. If our client's story teaches us anything, it's that prescription drug costs can no longer be ignored. With the right strategies and the right partners, you can take back control and put those dollars to work for your people and your business. Here's one more success story I want to share with you. This is a story of an employer with 162 enrolled employees, a company that on paper looked like any other mid-sized organization navigating the post-COVID landscape. But beneath the surface, it was bleeding money, literally. The problem, there were 2 hemophiliacs and $2 million in pharmacy costs annually. This employer came to us after enduring years of 28+% renewal increases under a level-funded plan, and their stop-loss premium alone had ballooned to $2 million. Why, we ask? Well, because on their plan were 2 members, a mother and a son, both living with hemophilia, a rare, expensive blood disorder. Each of them was racking up about $1 million per year in pharmacy costs. Infusions, specialized therapies, clinic fees, it all added up fast. That's $2 million per year on repeat. Now pause for a second and think about what that does to a mid-sized employer. It's not just unsustainable, it's an existential crisis. So the solution, the member-owned captive plus real strategic solutions. We invited them to explore a different path in our member-owned captive. If you're new to the term, a captive is a smarter risk financing model where employers band together to control costs, leverage scale, and unlock powerful tools that fully insured and graded funded models simply don't offer. So once they joined our member-owned captive, we got to work. First, we enrolled the son in a patient assistance program, bringing his $1 million drug cost down to $0. Second, we negotiated a direct contract with the hemophilia treatment clinic for the mother, cutting her cost from $1 million to $500,000. Already, that's $1.5 million in claim savings. But it didn't stop there. Because their risk profile had improved so significantly, we also worked with our stop-loss partners to renegotiate their premium, bringing it down from $2 million to around $900,000. So that's an additional $1.1 million in savings. The outcome, $2.6 million saved, stability restored, and confidence rebuilt within the group. So let's add that up. $1.5 million in claims reduction, $1.1 million in premium savings equals $2.6 million in total savings in just the first year. So this employer didn't just save money. They saved their plan. They saved their employees from disruption, and they bought peace of mind. And they gained a level of control most employers don't even know exists. So the key takeaways for us here is that this story isn't an anomaly. It's a signal to everyone. It's proof that even the most catastrophic pharmacy risk, like hemophilia, can be managed, mitigated, and mastered with the right approach and the right partners. It's not just about hemophilia. Employers are being hit every day with diseases like cystic fibrosis, with medication topping $320,000 per year, spinal muscular atrophy, where a single gene therapy can cost over $2 million, or multiple sclerosis, rheumatoid arthritis, all clocking in at $100,000 to $500,000 costs annually. And here's the truth. You can't always avoid the claims, but you can change how you pay for them. And that's what we do at Triforta through our member-owned captive solutions. So if you're an employer or an executive leader asking, is there a better way? Can we fix this broken model? Can we stop the bleeding? The answer is absolutely yes. And the solution might be closer than you think. If anything we shared today sparked a new idea or hit a little too close to home, know this: you are not stuck. You have options. We couldn't be more proud. Employers who once clung to the comfort of fully insured plans are now our fiercest advocates, because Triforta's playbooks delivered results they can bank on. So here's the rapid fire summary. Proof in the pit. The Nevada mine trimmed $1.5 million off 5-year spend without touching coverage through Triforta's analytics, captive leverage, and RX Point solutions. Turnaround in Tar Heel country. Our North Carolina group beat 140% MLR spiral, swapping double-digit fully insured spikes for a 19% first-year captive savings and 9-year forecasted stability. The hemophilia hammer neutralized 162 life employers / 2 million pharmacy bleed, carved stop loss by 1.1 million, and netted 2.6 million year one relief via patient assistance and direct contracting. When data is transparent and contracts align with employers, not the carrier, 7-figure savings move from wishful thinking to balance sheet reality. Captives plus smart cost engines turn uncontrollable claims into managed line items and fund reinforcement in people, gear, and growth.
Thanks for joining us for episode 6 of the Blueprints for Better Benefits series. And today we showed how employers are using Triforta's strategies to reclaim control of their healthcare spend. We saw $1.5 million in savings for a Nevada mining client, nearly 19% savings for a North Carolina employer facing 140% MLR, and a $2.6 million saved for a mid-sized group crushed by catastrophic hemophilia claims. These stories prove that employers have more control and more opportunity than the traditional model ever allowed. At Triforta, our mission is simple: safeguard your business, your people, and your future with intelligent strategies and a team of teams behind you. If today sparked new ideas, visit Triforta.com for more insights and next steps. We are Triforta. We're here for you. See you in the next episode.